So one thing I know is I don't post a lot. I don't do things consistently a lot sometimes. I do my best to be more consistent. I do my best to, provide what I need to provide. Especially with like social media, for instance. This is kind of what I'm going into, what I want to get on, talk about. So like with posting videos, posting content. For me, I love creating content. I love writing music, making videos. I've been doing it my whole entire life, but I haven't been doing it consistently due to certain reasons, of course. But of course, it's not an excuse, or I shouldn't use it as an excuse. But I do at times. And for me, I've just come to realize that I am very sensitive, and there's certain times that I do need to take a break from social media. I'm one of those individuals who experiences just a lot of energies when I'm on social media, when I'm posting, when I'm, just being more creative, because it takes a lot out of me. And some people may not understand this or get this, but I just have, a lot of energies that gravitate towards me. And at the end of the day, I know what I can handle. I know, when to post, when not to post. And sometimes I've just, over time, I've learned that I love creating. I love doing what I can. But there's sometimes where I'll overdo it to where I'm not doing it very to the best of my ability, I guess I can say. And so for me, there's those times where I do need to take those pauses, those breaks. And even over the few years that I've been creating, posting, whatnot, I've deleted certain social medias like Facebook and Instagram, for one, just because of the energies. And for me, I just see a different view with social media. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a powerful thing. I think it's a beautiful thing that we have it. But even though that we have it, there's still a lot of mixed energies out there. And not just social media, but in general. And so for me, I'm creating this video to just share the fact that, like, I'm doing my best to not compare myself to other content creators, other creators in general, because I believe we're all creators in some way or form, but especially on social media. For me, I don't have a lot of subscribers. I don't get a lot of views, and really my focus is not on that too much, even though it would be awesome to get more of that, right? I'm just going to be real and honest about that. But my thing is just I want to be as authentic as possible, and it's very hard in general just to be authentic in general on social media, I feel. But also for me, I post when I'm feeling like I should post, feeling more creative, feeling more just in that energy. And then when I feel as if I need to disconnect, or I'm getting overwhelmed or tired, I won't post. So I pretty much go based off my feelings, based off these certain energies, these emotions, this flow. And yeah, I do want to be more consistent, create like a more routine where I post like every Friday or every Monday or whatever. And I've worked on that to do that. Yet certain distractions will come in, and these are the excuses I'm talking about, right? For me, there's some times where I don't want to post. I'd be like, I'll get into that mood or that energy where it's like, you know what, fuck social media. Like, I don't even want to watch certain YouTube videos or just be on YouTube. And it's because I'm just very sensitive. I can take on other people's energies. It's just like a revolving door. And that's where I'm finding that balance. I'm finding that inner self-control to be able to harness a certain consistency for myself, to know that, okay, well, this is what works for me, and just understand that I'm always evolving, I'm always changing, and things are always happening for me, and just going with the flow as well, and not beating myself up or not trying to control the narrative or the scenario or the situation. and just being like, you know what, I'm going to post when I post, and those who gravitate towards it will gravitate towards it. Those who love it will love it. Those who hate it, well, it is what it is. Not everybody's going to love my content. Not everybody's going to find it interesting or intriguing, you know, and that's okay, you know. And I've also considered myself a perfectionist, where like I will only post certain things if they're a certain way, and then there's sometimes where it's just like, you know what, fuck it, I don't care, you know, I'm just gonna post it. I'm not gonna edit. I'm not gonna do shit to it. So and you'll if you're watching this video, if you watch any of my videos, you'll see that. You'll see that. You'll notice that. And that's why I really just want to explain that in this video, because social media is, you only see 1% of a person's life. And for me, I can post a lot about my life in general, or just talk a lot about my life if you haven't noticed. But at the same time, it's still only a little bit that you're getting. You don't see everything that's going on physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of that shit, right? And that just goes for anybody, not just for me, obviously. But it's like, I've had to learn that over time, that social media, it's not necessarily, I don't want to say it's necessarily fake, but it has this perception, right? We have this perception depending on what you watch, what you're viewing. Because me, I've gravitated towards everything throughout social media life, right? I've gravitated toward toxic things. I've gravitated towards comedy things. I've gravitated towards healthy things. I've gravitated towards serious intellectual things, motivational things. I've gravitated towards everything on social media you could probably think of. And for me, that's why I'm just very, very careful now with when I post, how I post, and just when I'm on social media. And what I mean by social media for me now is pretty much YouTube. Like, I even just recently have, disconnected from TikTok, just because, like, for me, it's just, I know what I can handle with social media, and me as just me being me, and knowing myself, and knowing, what affects me with social media in general. I can be on social media for hours. I can get very, very addicted to it. And that's why I've disconnected from TikTok. I mean, from, Instagram, Facebook, all that. I love posting. I love creating content. I love doing all that stuff. Yet I also can do the other stuff. I can do the viewing stuff. I could just watch certain things or just scroll for hours on end. And it'd be like 2 hours later, I'd be like, shit, I should have done something else, And so for me, I've just learned it's not all about social media anymore. It's not all about posting. It's not about, creating something just to post. Because I want to be as authentic as possible and understand myself and why I'm posting what I'm posting. But also not be too serious about it and have fun with it and go with the flow with it. Because that's what my creative self is going with the flow, working with my soul, with my spirit, with the universe, and with these gifts that I do have, and creating for others to see, to be able to inspire, to be able to provide hope and wisdom, and whatever it is that I'm able to provide, whatever people take from my content. Because at the end of the day, we can get so overwhelmed with these certain distractions, not just social media in general, but just like everything, with people, with going to certain places, with doing certain things, even things that are looked at as healthy. So me, I used to be like a gym addict. I used to want to work out 24/7. And I had to realize that, yeah, that's awesome. Like, I'm working out, but I don't have to do it 24/7. I was so addicted to it that I was just focusing on a certain aspect, the physical, when there's so much more that we need to focus on, not just one aspect of our life, not just the physical, but the intellectual. I believe intellectual and mental are similar. But the overall mind, body, and soul, your financial, your spiritual, and just so much more, your connections, your relationships, your communication, certain things like that. And sometimes social media, I know in my experience, can just distract me and get me unfocused with everything. And I believe everything's connected and everything happens for a reason, and it's a ripple effect out into the world, because what you're watching is also an energy. It's so much more than we realize. It's deeper than we realize. And so for me, I've come to have that realization within myself, and just want to be more mindful, be more aware, self-aware of myself, but just aware of everything around me, and the connections I'm making, the things that I'm watching, because I like to dive deep within certain things to where I really don't need to. And so I'm just very careful. I do my best to be very careful to just limit myself from certain things. And it's not a bad limitation. It's okay. With social media, like I've been on, scrolling for 20 minutes. Maybe I should take a break, go do some dishes, take out the trash, clean the kitty litter type stuff, move around, go work out for 30 minutes. Certain, have that balance, or have that structure, or have that routine. And I love when I have a certain routine, because it helps me overall, one, but two, you see that consistency within yourself. And that's what I'm, doing my best to work on. It's just being more consistent with certain things in my life, with, social media, but also just going with the flow, and not beating myself up when I'm not posting, or when I do know I need to take a break from certain things, because not everybody's going to understand. Not everybody's going to perceive what you perceive in general, right? My perception is different from others' perception. We all have our individual sight, our individual perception. And so just knowing that you're on the right track, knowing that you're doing what is best for you, even when others may not understand that. And so that's why I just really wanted to create this video, to share some wisdom, share some thoughts, share some stuff, on the fact that, it's a evolving door. We're always changing. We're always working on ourselves. We're always doing, we're always trying to do something, or we should always try to be doing something to, just be more self-aware. And that's what I've been working on for myself, especially with my social media presence, and just certain things in that sense. So yeah. But that's why I wanted to create this video, and just post something as well, but be as authentic as I can with all of you, because sometimes we do have that mask on us, or we have this perception or persona, or whatever you want to call it, that we put on, and it's not always easy to take on and off, and so sometimes with social media, for me, in my experience, I do disconnect, because it's like I want to be as authentic as possible, to where I'm not overwhelming myself and putting on other masks, other personalities, even though it's a normal thing to have different personalities, I believe, have these different masks in different certain situations, but at the same time, don't get too much into it where you forget who you are, forget your true self. So I hope that all makes sense, but that's what I really wanted just share with this video. So, yeah, well, by the way, it's a full moon in Gemini, starting at like 1 a.m. tonight or tomorrow. You get my drift, right? So hope you guys are enjoying this full moon energy. Be careful out there and just have a good week ahead of you, because I'm recording this on Sunday. And just remember that you are loved, you are always blessed, and the universe is always working out in your favor.